December 1867. December 1867. This we can pass. This is the whole thing. I know what the scene is. Man, I thought we'd go without one of the silent scenes. But no, we're here with the creepy scene that I just hate. I'll stay here. Right? Yep, I'll stay here now. Oh, that is a picture. I'm gonna get an achievement right now, aren't I? Achievement unlocked. Is that a gun in your pocket? Or... That's it, there's nothing else. It had been roughly a month since Sakamoto-san, Hakuoki, and Kaoru had all disappeared. I was barely given any time to mourn for Hisuke becoming a fury after the Aburo no Koji incident. In order to stave off the Satsuma from assuming power through manipulation of the imperial court, the shogun began occupying Kyo. In response, the Sacho also sent forces to occupy Kyo, creating a tense mood in the city. As a contingency plan, the Shinsengumi had been stationed at the Fushimi magistrate. However, only 2 days after we'd moved, an attempt on Kondo-san's life was made, sending him in critical condition. Kondo-san, along with Okita, whose tuberculosis had only been worsening, was sent to Osaka Castle for further treatment.
Oi! 飯はまだか？もう腹が減って薩長と戦う前に飢え死にしそうなんだけどよ。
Nagakura! I swear. Please give me just a few more minutes. It's almost done.
新八、あんまりせかすんじゃねえよ。こいつが忙しくしてるのは見りゃわかるだろうが。
Thank you, Harada.
何か手伝うことはねえか？
I'm fine. I'll be able to handle it. Please give me a moment. As the meal ended, and after I completed all of my chores, I finally had a moment to breathe. Ever since word of the Imperial Restoration had spread, the fate of our government seemed tenuous. I wonder if it'd actually come to a war.
後先考えずに刀を抜く側はバカだけ。みんながみんな賢かったら、無駄に争う理由らってなくなる気に。
And I think he was the one wishing most for peace during this chaotic time. Just as these thoughts turned internally.
雪村先輩、ちょっといいですか？
What's up, Soma?
実はこれなんですけど。
Soma took out a letter addressed to me.
見回りから戻ってくる途中、桜の柄の着物を着た女の人に渡されて。
Oh no! Sakura print. I had a hunch who it could have been, and the letter confirmed it. Its only note saying Kaoru. I ripped it apart, rushing to read its contents.
Sakamoto さんの件についてお伝えしたいことがあります。お付き合いください。新選組の方々にはくれぐれもご内密にお願いします。南雲薫。
The letter even had a point of contact listed on it. Concerning Sakamoto-san. Why had Kaoru reach out to me? I gripped the letter tightly, looking to see if anyone watched me read it, and I quickly exited the magistrate.
お待ちしてました、雪村さん。来てくださると思ってましたよ。
You said you have something to tell me about Sakamoto-san. What is it? I kept myself alert, and Kaoru started giggling, but to herself bewitchingly.
あら、気の早い方ですね。ご心配なさらずとも、一緒に来てくださればきちんとお伝えしますよ。
This is a goddamn trap!
さあ、行きましょう。きっと喜んでいただけると思います。
No. How far is this place?
すぐそこです。
Oh. Kaoru had brought me to the Inari Temple, located in Fushimi. As I passed under the famous Tori corridor, it felt as though I had entered a gateway to a foreign, majestic world. However, it wasn't the only surprise waiting.
久しぶりだね。
Father?
元気にしていたかい？随分と娘らしく綺麗になったな。
Father, who had eluded me for almost 4 years, had currently been standing right in front of me. If I were a clueless child, perhaps I would have ran up to him for a prolonged embrace, but knowing of his involvement with the Shinsengumi made me more so eager to ask him questions. Father, there's something I need to ask you.
なんだね。
Is it true that you performed research on the creation of the Furies with the Shinsengumi? That's not all I've learned either. I also heard that you've expanded this experiment in the West as they seek to overthrow the shogunate. Why would you do that? Didn't you become a doctor so that you could save lives, Father? Finally, I was able to load numerous questions that had given me sleepless nights for months, and my father simply furrowed his brow.
久方ぶりの再会だというのに質問ばかりだね。まあいい。お前には知らせておかねばならないことだから教えてあげよう。もしかするともう誰かから聞かされているかもしれんが、お前は普通の人間ではないのだよ。傷を負ってもすぐに治り、人間をはるかに凌駕する力を持つ鬼の一族の血を引いているのだ。
A demon clan. Both Kazuma and Sen had mentioned this to me.
その中でも我が雪村家はかつて東の鬼をすべていた名家だったのだ。人間どもにあえなく滅ぼされたがね。
Sen had brought mention of this fact to me as well. Father, please answer me. Why did you perform experiments on the Furies?
決まっているじゃないか。雪村家の最高のためだよ。
Revive?
そう。人間どもがろくな技術も持たぬ時代であれば、奴らの手を借りずとも一族の再興を成し得ただろうが、この混迷の時代、我らが再び安住の地を得るためには、どこかの藩の庇護を受けるより他ない。そして落ち水や羅刹の力は必ずや我らの一族の再興に役立ってくれるはずだ。行こう。今度こそ誰に脅かされることなく幸せに暮らせるのだよ。
Father wore a warm smile as he offered his hand out to me, stretched to grab my own hand, but I don't care about reviving our clan, or to reclaim some land that was supposedly taken from us. The people who've turned into furies, Sanan-san, Heisuke, Sakamoto-san, Hakuoki, I want you to return them back to humans. Father's eyes thinned and he laughed.
それはお前の目で直接確かめるといい。
What? His response. Could it mean?
坂本君とは随分と仲が良かったらしいね。この私がお前の思い人をひどい目に遭わせるはずがないじゃないか。元に戻す方法がないのに、あの薬を飲ませたりするはずがないだろう。それにね、彼は羅刹となったが、我々のことを恨んだりはしていないよ。彼はこう言っていたんだ。この薬があったからこそ生き延びられた。これでまた多くのことを成し遂げられるとね。無論受け入れるまでには葛藤があったようだが、今ではあの薬の行動を認めてくれている。
Is that all true? I remember Sakamoto-san being upset that he had died before he made the impact he'd wished for upon Japan.
ああ、彼は君に会いたがっているよ。一緒においで。さあ。
Could I trust what father had told me? Hell no!
どうしたんだね。
Father kept urging me. I'm not going anywhere.
何？
Sakamoto-san told me the only people who will benefit from using the power of the Furies were the Westerners. He said it was no different than how Britain had ruled China using the opium trade. So, I don't believe you for a second that Sakamoto-san would ever accept the effects of the serum. Father's eyes suddenly lost all warmth and kindness, as if he had ceased his charade.
聞き分けのない子だね。ならば、無理にでも連れて行くしかないか。
No! As father reached his hand towards me to grab my arm, I instinctively slapped it away. Just then,
おいおい、行きたくねえっつってんのが聞こえねえのか。
oh my god!
いつまでも子離れできねえ親父なんてみっともねえことこの上ねえぜ。
That voice, it's... Hijikata-san! Sonan-san! My goodness, all of you are here.
行動さん、先ほどの言葉もう一度聞かせてもらいましょうか。羅刹となったものを元の人間に戻すことはできるのですか。
おお、まだ日も沈んでいないというのによく動けるものだ。新選組がそこまで落ち水の改良を進めていたとも思えぬし、気力だけでそうして立っているのかな。
こっちの質問に答えやがれ。俺たちを元に戻す方法はあるのか、それともねえのかよ。
戻せるはずがなかろう。分かりきったことを。一度落ち水で汚れた血は二度と元には戻らん。君たちは所詮出来損ないなのだよ。
てめえ。
Flames burned inside of Hijikata-san's eyes, while Sana-san, on the other hand, kept his composure and spoke with a tone so cold-hearted, I felt nervous.
なるほど。その言葉を聞いて、ようやく踏ん切りがつきました。
羅刹を元の人間に戻す方法がねえっつんなら、あんたを生かしておく理由もねえよな。 殺す前に一応聞いておくか。坂本や中岡を羅刹にしたそうだな。目的は何だ。
From the side, Kaoru answered in father's stead.
今死んでもらっては困る方々ですから。
誰に頼まれた？
さあ、あまりしつこい殿方は嫌われますよ。さあ、行きましょう、雪村さん。もうこんな人たちと関わる必要などないのですから。
As Kaoru's slender fingers wrapped around my arm, I found it hard to believe how much power they had.
その手を離しやがれ
Heisuke had leapt forward to jab at Kaoru, but his sword just barely grazed her sleeves. I took this opportunity to gain distance from Kaoru. Then, from the other direction,
やれやれ、無粋な方々だ。今日のところは日を改めた方が良さそうだな。
本当に小賢しいこと。ぞろぞろと群れることしか能がない野良犬みたい。
俺たちがあんたらを見逃すとでも思ってるのか？悪いが、あり一匹逃がしゃしねえぜ。
Nagakura puffed out his chest and drew his sword. Father had quickly sipped something from out of his sleeve. It was a tiny glass bottle, and inside of it was a peculiar, suspiciously discolored liquid. Everyone, watch out! Get back! As I screamed, Father had already thrown the bottle towards the Shinsengumi warriors.
なんだこりゃ。
てめえら、粉を吸うんじゃねえ。こいつは目つぶしか何かだ。
Hijikata tried to warn everyone, but it was too late.
それでは皆さん方、ごきげんよう。
次こそ迎えに行くからね。楽しみに待っているんだよ。
Mate! I reached out as my fingertips just barely grazed their kimonos, but Father and Kaoru vanished like smoke.
てめえら、すぐに奴らを追え。絶対に逃がすんじゃねえぞ。
The men scoured every corner of the temple, as well as outside of it, but no sign of neither my father nor Kaoru has shown itself. Later that night, Hijikata-san called for me to meet him in the common room.
残念ながら、高堂さんともう一人の薫ってやつの行方はつかめねえままだった。できれば薩長との戦が始まる前に片付けておきたかったんだがな。
Hijikata-san forcefully bit his lip, seemingly out of frustration, and all I could do was apologize. I'm so sorry, Hijikata-san.
それは何に対する詫びだ？
Because, as I tried to speak, my throat quivered. I didn't want to believe it was real, but because my father imposed the water of life onto the Shinsengumi, lying about being able to change the Furies back to their human forms, I knew it wasn't just simple research on the Furies that motivated my father to act as he did. There must be a deeper reason to it all. At least, that was the hope I had been holding on to in my heart. It seemed like my father had no reservations in turning people into Furies, nor had he expressed the slightest hint of guilt for sacrificing real human lives for his purposes. This man was my father.
お前が罪の意識なんざ感じる必要はねえよ。落ち水の研究をするって決めたのも、その薬を大使に飲ませたのも、俺たちが勝手にしたことだ。
Hijikata-san tried to accept some of the criticism as his own to comfort my guilty feelings, but there was no way for me to easily absolve either my father or myself of the sins that were committed. Yujikata-san placed his index and middle fingers on the right side of the bridge of his nose as he spoke.
俺たちはこれからお前の父親を高堂さんを殺すことになる。これ以上ここにいるのが辛いって言うんならいつでも出られるように便宜を図ってやっても構わねえ。
Thank you. That's very kind of you, but please, allow me to stay here for just a little longer.
そうか。わかった。
Father was the one responsible for cursing the Shinzengumi with the water of life. There was no way that as his daughter I could be allowed to take safe refuge somewhere far away and forget about all that's happened here. Besides, Father spoke about his ambitions to revive our family's clan. This is all my fault. I have to do whatever it takes to stop my father, even if that meant at the expense of my own life. Sakamoto-san, where are you right now?